started. Welcome to the East Formula Gold Mine with Rakesha Pittman. I am so glad that you are taking this opportunity to set your goals for progress for the future. Don't wait until you're in a new year to get going. Already see the year ahead so that each and every day of your year is being utilized to the best of your strategic abilities. So let's go ahead and let's get going. What is the East Formula? The East Formula is entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer. I have observed over the years that there was a specific formulary that was going on with people who I saw were uber successful in the entrepreneurship and exposure arena. And I started to notice that they all had these 4 ingredients that made the formula work. So I will break them down in a goals format for you so that if you're missing any part of the formula, we can make sure that that ingredient is working for you. Sometimes it's not because you did not put in the effort. Sometimes you did not have the right strategy. So I know that by the end of this session, you will change your mind about some things that you were planning on because you'll want to make sure that the East Formula works for you every single year. So entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer, you'll see the uber successful and the uber wealthy do this as you observe. So Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire, right? But she is also a businesswoman. She is an author many times over. She is definitely a speaker and she has training systems that are in place. And even right now, she's doing a book club, yes, and she's gathering people as she continues to go east. You see it males, you see it females. So I'm inviting you not to just be one, but to be all 4 and go east with me. Let's deal with your entrepreneur goals. When you are in business of any kind, you need to set goals, not wishes, not fantasies, not hopes or dreams. You need real goals. And I definitely encourage you to get an accountability partner on your entrepreneurship journey who you can kind of spill all your, I didn't say a foe or a frenemy, right? Someone who they don't have to be in your same industry, but they do understand the pressures of entrepreneurship, the highs and lows of entrepreneurship, because believe me, there are seasons where there's feast and there are seasons where there are famine, and you have to learn how to navigate through those, and you're going to need a support system. So let's dig into your E of East entrepreneur goals right now. Number 1, what do you think? If your mindset, and I'm just going to dig for a minute, if your mindset does not change, it doesn't matter what I say. You're just going to waste your time with me over the next few minutes. You really, really have to consider your mindset. And this is not a discouragement, but what I'm going to tell you right now is, if you have a big F in any of these areas of your life right now, you are going to have to look at your mindset. What do you really think? If you don't think that you can set these goals and reach them and hold yourself accountable to reaching them, then you'll just feel like, you know what? I keep failing at this, so I'm just not going to try it anymore. You have to think that you can. You have to know that you can. When I set a daily goal for myself or a weekly goal for myself, I have to put the action in place to match what I'm saying that I want to do. So how are you thinking? Are you thinking small? Are you constantly looking to give discounts? Are you constantly doubting? Do you have imposter syndrome? You know, that's a term now. Are you doubting your business ideas? Are you limiting yourself to doing your passions and you're not profiting? It is okay to be passionate, and you've heard me say this, but my life changed when one of my business mentors, who is a multi-millionaire and has sold his business for millions of dollars and is living the good life and funding everything that he wants. I had a passion project that I was running at that time, and he said, Rakesha, are you making money from that company? And I hemmed and I hawed and I said, well, and he said, I want you to reconsider that. He said, I let my profits fund my passions. And it doesn't impact or take away from my family because I've done that. I've made sure that I was profitable. It didn't mean that he did not have fun while he was profiting, right? However, because he is in a position, he can give to whatever project that he wants and push it to success because he's not relying on it to support his family. We're going to have to change our mindsets about what has been drilled into our heads that's not working. People keep telling you, follow your passions. Well, why are most people still broke if that's true? And people are as passionate as they want to be about stuff that there's a little profit. You know why? Because the mentality of some of the people in your passion is that they don't want to pay for anything. What do you think? I can create or replace my salary. You have to think that right now. If I did not think that I could create or replace my salary, I would not have left my corporate job 10 years ago. I was so tired of not having the freedom or basically getting hounded about silly things. I was a great employee, by the way. I don't have the story that I've been fired. I haven't. I've had jobs created for me. People wanted me in their company so bad that they would create jobs and positions for me. I rarely ever had to look for a job. And often when I looked for a job, I was hired pretty much immediately. Anytime that I did, I had a good track record as an employee. But what I was finding was I wasn't getting the money that I know I deserve for my talents. Every time it came time to get a raise, I mean, what the heck is 25 cents? What is 50 cents? What am I going to do with that extra per hour? Or even when I was in a salaried position, I told this story the other day, I was reprimanded for leaving work on time. I had letters of commendation from executives and employees. I was applauded for my efforts and my energy and how I treated people. However, Rakisha, we noticed that you leave work on time every day. Not that you didn't get your work done. I said, you know what? I want freedom. And I don't want to continue to be stellar and never ever compensated or rewarded according to what they're getting from me. So I said at that moment, I can create or replace my salary. So if you are currently working in a corporate position, how much are you really making? When I did the math and saw that they were like basically paying me $15 an hour, I got the heck up out of there, okay? That was not my highest paying job, by the way, but I'm saying this one that they were hounding me, you don't pay me enough to be mad that I'm leaving on time when there's a whole staff here and the work is going on, okay? So what annual income goal are you going to set realistically? And what I'm saying is realistically is compared to the way that you think, period. It's not that $1 million is unrealistic, but if you do not have $1 million mindset, you're not going to hit it. You can hit 6 figures. That's not unrealistic, but if you do not have the 6-figure mindset, you're not going to hit it. So at least have a minimum annual income goal of whatever your highest paying job was in the corporate sector. I want you to make a goal, right? Whatever that is down, that you're going to meet it and beat it. Meet it and beat it. There's an annual income goal, and we're going to continue to break that down, but you have to know that you can do it. And I knew that I could do it. I know I can make more than this stuff that you're paying me. And then they were saying, oh, you know, there's a salary freeze and we cannot give you an increase. I'm out. I made more money by myself. Okay. So set that, establish it, write it down. I want you to take a second right now. And this is real. I need you to write it down. What is your annual income goal? You can double it if you want to. You can say, I'm currently making 50,000. I want to make 100,000. You can keep your job. I'm not telling you to chuck the deuces to it, but I'm saying your entrepreneurial effort, you can make an additional 50K if you would like. When I was in corporate America, I did run businesses on the side. I was making profit on the side. I was an entrepreneur. I was an author. I was a speaker, and then I got into training. So I was going east even when I was an employee, okay? So I don't want you to think that I'm coming down on it. I'm saying that if you want more, you can get more. I am a money magnet. I am a money magnet. You have to believe that it is okay for money to flow to you. If you are more familiar with lack than lavishness, then sometimes your mindset is, you know what? I'm only going to get paid every 2 weeks. Oh, I do not like this, you all. Okay. When people say, I won't have it until, you've already been defeated. Your mentality is already wrong. You're not a money magnet. If you really want something, you'll get it. So what I need you to do, you know what this annual thing is. This is my annual salary. So that means that I need to set a weekly income goal. And mine varies, you all. Mine varies based on what projects I have in place. And I'm going to walk you through the East formula. Mine varies. So what do you want to make every week? Some of you joined me earlier this year and I did the money magnet. The money magnet, and it is a success tracker. And you can get this on Amazon. Look up the Money Magnet, Success Speaks Global. It's now East Global Strategies, right? So the Money Magnet. And so every single week I would put an income target, and I would track down every day, which I'll talk in a minute, and say what I made. Did I meet it? Did I exceed it? You have to track these things. You have to see it, because if it's out of sight, it's out of your mind. If you are serious about your business, you have to take a look at what's going on in your business. I am a money magnet, okay? So what is your weekly target? It can vary, but you need to set one, because if you don't set one, you're gonna get a bunch of zeros every single day because you didn't put effort. So at the beginning of the week, when I set an income goal, then I know I need to work it so that I can reach that particular goal. So you are a money magnet. You have to believe that every day is payday, or payday is every day, both ways, okay? You can get paid every single day if you do some of these things that I am teaching you in this East Goal Mind goal setting session. Every day is payday, not every 2 weeks, not every week. When I worked as a temporary worker, I was excited because I didn't have to wait 2 weeks. So every Friday, every Friday I had a check, right? Well, you can get paid every day. So what is your daily income goal? So every single day, if you're serious now, this is not for the people who are like, I wish. This is not an I wish. This is an actuality, okay? So if you're serious, you can have daily income goals. And the way that you do that is you're gonna have to have bait in the water. So I'll teach you about that. You have to have things that generate money on a daily basis. It doesn't mean that you go live and hustle people every single day trying to sell them something. You know, I know that people do that. That's not what it means. And if you do that, I'm not mad at it. But you have to have bait in the water. You have to have some things either on your website. Do you have a website, by the way? On your website, you have to have some type of store, something, some way to get paid every single day without you necessarily having to show up and do the work. When we are on a job, you have to show up in order to get paid. But when you have income as an entrepreneur, it is based on your strategy, and it is based on your implementations of systems that allow you to get paid, not necessarily on you showing up. The computer will be your cash register if you go east. So what is your daily income goal? So every single day I write down day 1, day 2 through day 7. If I have a 0, I know I didn't do something. So let me stop right here. If I have a 0, it's because I'm missing something in the system. So that means that if I have a 0, I probably didn't send out an email. I probably did not send out a text message. I probably didn't put up a video. You don't have to do all of these simultaneously, but you do need to do something, okay? I probably didn't run an ad. I probably did not network. I probably did not make a phone call. I probably did not follow up the way I should have. So many of you, this is for somebody specific. So many of you have opportunities when you meet people, you connect and they say, hey, call me, and you don't follow up. You are self-sabotaging. You're not following up with that, okay? So what did I not do? What did I not implement that caused me to see a 0? This will discipline you to be a money magnet, and then you'll see your weekly income and you'll see your annual salary skyrocket if you actually have a goal. And it's easy. When you do this for yourself and you start to see notices, either depending on what payment processor you have, whether it's PayPal, whether it's Stripe, whether it's Square, heck, if people are Cash Apping you or whatever. When you see that you get paid on a daily basis, baby, you want to do it every day because it feels good. Yeah, I guarantee you it feels good, okay? So let's have a goal to at least get paid every single week at least. Daily income goals. All right, let's dig into this E, products. In most cases, if you want to make significant money as an entrepreneur, You're going to need products and services. Products and services. You don't have to have both, but in many cases, it helps to have both. So products, think about what your business is. What is your business? I'm not asking you what you do for money or what you do to get a little extra on your income. What is your business? And then you need to formulate a product line based on that. Now, let me give you a warning right here because I've done it. In 2009, I actually left corporate America and I opened a retail store. I was a speaker, I had a company, and I opened a retail store based on what my business was at that time. I had a little money to burn, okay? Was making a lot of money at that time. So because I was comfortable, this is a word for somebody too. Because I was comfortable, I wasn't as calculated. Can I say it again? Because I was comfortable, I wasn't as calculating or calculated. So I just kind of did whatever I wanted to do without any real strategy behind it, because heck, I have money to burn, all right? You cannot approach it like that if you're comfortable or if you want to make it. So what are your inventory goals? You need to set goals and say, all right, this is my business. And based on my business, I need actual inventory that makes sense for my business, and you don't have to overdo it. You can start with one thing. Let that one thing work and add. So here's a story. Here's a little story all about how, okay? Here's a little story. So I was going to conferences and I was selling shirts to the dance community. I had purple shirts and I had pink shirts, and they both were the same design, glitter bombs, okay? Bling. Some of you may remember me from back then. Don't tell anybody. So I had purple shirts and I had pink shirts. The purple shirts sold out and the pink shirts didn't move. Same design, same shirt, different colors. I did not understand at that time that there was a fashion forecast. There's an actual whole system in the fashion industry that determines in advance what the colors are of the season, and they condition people. They don't have to necessarily tell you. They condition us to see certain colors, which is why you go into the store now. Everything kind of looks the same. They condition us to see certain colors, and I had no idea because I had money to burn, okay? So inventory goals, what works? What works? So I talked to my business mentor. I have a male one and a female one, and she said, Rakisha, do what makes you money. If that's not making you money, stop it. So what are your inventory goals? And here is the encouragement that I want to give you now. There are so many companies now who do drop shipping. Like you have no reason why you can't have an apparel line, a bag, something. I had bags, I had hoodies, I had t-shirts, I had leggings, honey, books. I was doing the dang thing. So inventory goals. What can you offer? Strategic products, strategic products. So for instance, I have run a service-based business, but I noticed that if I wanted to recoup the money that I spent, let's say I had a vendor booth and I'm vending at an expo, I needed products that would bring me money, because standing there trying to sell a service is not as easy to do in person. So I would do things like I have bling pens. Some of you have seen that. I have journals. I offer things that people will pay me for on the spot. It's strategic products that people will pay me for on the spot so that I can recoup and make a profit when I show up. And yay, it's a bonus if I sign a client. Make sense? So strategically start to think about, what can I pair with my business? Find a drop shipping company that will do it, so I don't have to put up a lot of capital. See, now we live in an age of technology. I don't have to put up a lot of capital. I just have to put marketing power behind it, okay? So when you think about your inventory, what am I going to do strategically? How is this going to be distributed? So back in the day, technology has changed. Back in the day, I had to put up the capital in advance. If my shirts cost $1,000 or whatever, I had to take the risk, because that's what entrepreneurs do. Put up the capital and hope the shirts sold. So my break even point, okay, I have to sell 25 shirts to break even. Now you don't have to do that. Now you invest in design, right? And you get it uploaded to a drop shipping company and you let them do order fulfillment for you, and you take that profit. So they have a base. I know, they take their cut, but you do make a profit without having to put up so much risk. Why don't you have an inventory line, product line? You will before 2020. All right, these are goals. Your distribution, we talked about that, and your profit. Actually think, how much money do I want to make from my product line? Do I want to make 10K in 2020? Do I want to make $20,000? So as you're trying to think about your annual salary, you can actually break them down as ease. What do I want to make from my entrepreneur part, my author, speaker, trainer, and all of that combined? Come on, you can't tell me you can't make at least 50 G's that way. What's $50,000 divided by 4? You can't make all of those pay you that minimum. Come on now. Services. Some of us offer services. You can do goods, you can do services. One of the things that I have observed with some of the millionaires in social media, right, is that they definitely have the goods. Most of them, if they're selling makeup or hair products or whatever, they've got the goods. So you have to determine what it is. And then they might offer a service. So what are your offer goals? What's your offer? All right. Are you offering yourself as a consultant? This can be a one-off. You can actually put a time limit, and I'm giving you some considerations. Some of you may not have thought of this, but I'm sharpening you a little, okay? Are you a consultant that you establish, this is the time frame in which I'm going to work for X amount of dollars, and this is what I'm going to offer, all right? I'm a consultant. I'm not an employee. I'm a 1099. I'm a consultant. This is my business payment. Are you a contractor? So I have agreed to do work, set work, whether it's book publishing or whatever. I'm contracted to do this work, design, whatever. So you have asked me for a specific thing to be done that you want me to do. I'm not offering this to you specifically. You're saying, I want you to do X for me. So now I'm a contractor, okay? So that means that I do a service for hire. You contracted me to do that. You pay me. You got what you want. I got what I want. We're good. Are you a coach? So this person has something that they need help getting to a goal, right? So you come in with a proven system. Did you hear me? You come in there with a proven system. Now, let me say this. If you haven't had massive success in an area, like, don't put too much on it, all right? You can start out. Don't feel like you need to be super duper to start out in this area. But heck, train on what you know. That's what I'm saying. So where you've had a massive success, go ahead. You can be a coach in that area, but don't try to train people somewhere you haven't gone. I'm just saying. So you can coach them. You're giving them advice. You're giving them game plans, so to speak. If I have a fitness coach, they're going to give me a plan. This is how you need to work out. This is what you need to eat. All right? They don't do it for me. They provide me with the tools that get me to the goal, and they hold me accountable. So these are some of the things that you can consider under your entrepreneurial efforts. What are your offer goals? You don't have to do them all, but what can you do that you do well, that you can make some cha-ching? Somebody say cha-ching. Let's go A, entrepreneur, author. A is for author. What are your authorship goals? Contrary to some people's beliefs, if you go east, you need a book to highlight and to complement your business. Somebody said, this is good. Yes, you need a strategic publication. Can I be controversial and say, even though I love people's personal stories, if you are in business, nobody really cares unless they know you. Nobody really cares until you become a success. We want to hear your backstory, Tyler Perry, after you became a success. But while you're struggling, you just stressing me. Did you see what I'm saying? Who wants to hear, oh my gosh, I was stressed? No, we want to hear it after you made it. We don't want to hear it while you said, what, who are you? Okay, so why did you go through all of that? So if you go east, strategically, I want you to follow the following things as you're setting your goals. One, you have to admit, I am an author. I say, I am an author. Before you ever publish a page, declare, I am an author. I can hear you. I am an author. I am an author. I am not an emerging author. I am not an aspiring author. I am an author. And an author means to create. Yes, this is so inspiring. Thank you. An author means that you are the creator, the originator, the progenitor. So you don't necessarily have to be a published author to be an author. If you write it down, you've authored something. If you created something, you are an author. Okay, look up the definition. I promise you it'll bless you. So number one, admit it, you are. It's been pressing at you, that book, those books. And once you get one out, keep doing them. Why in the heck? And I want to challenge you on this. For those of you who try to discount yourself saying, well, somebody already wrote that book. John C. Maxwell has written billions, over exaggeration, of books on the same doggone subject. How many different ways can you cut the leadership pie? But yet he still keeps cranking it out and cranking it out and cranking it out. And you're sitting up there talking about somebody else wrote a book about it. You're tripping. He's written multiple books about the same subject, and you are disqualifying yourself talking about what? And we keep buying his books. And he goes east. He is an entrepreneur. He is an author. He's a speaker and trainer. And he has his whole team. And he has people teaching his systems. Heck, what? Why are you missing out on money? John C. Maxwell goes east, baby. And I'm going east too. I am an author. Let's set some strategic goals for your books. Yes, we do. Boom, boom, boom. Strategic goals. Number one, what is the purpose? When I sit with authors, I ask them, what do you want this book to do for you? If you don't know from the beginning what you need that book to do, then I want you to rethink your releases. Not step back, rethink, not retreat, rethink. What do I want this book to do? You have to give it an assignment. I want this book to. I want to use this book to. Define that, write that down. So when you're doing your goal mine for East, I want my book to do X, Y, Z. Don't say, I want to reach everybody. That's the wrong mindset. That's not actually impossible. So can we not have goals that are impossible? The Bible is the best-selling book of all time, and everybody don't have one. So you're going to do better than that? Let's be realistic, all right? So second, what is your subject? You don't have to be the master of book titles, but you should probably get with marketing people and people who understand psychology so that you do not mistitle your book. I've actually seen, T.D. Jakes is a prolific author. Many of you have seen his books. I bought a book of his that was titled at first, Before You Say I Do. He repackaged that book, changed the title. It was the same book and sold it under a different title. Sometimes people have to do that because it's not that the content wasn't great. It was that the presentation or the concept wasn't quite hitting, okay? So some of you may have some books or works that you've already done that they just kind of need a retool and you can re-release them. So stop feeling like, oh my God, this thing that I did didn't work out and so it was a failure. Sometimes you have to dust stuff off and just do a little remodel, okay? Because guess what? If the very successful, repackaged to re-release, if the very successful can do it, why don't you? What is all this perfectionism? That leads to procrastination, remember? Excellence leads to execution. Also, brand continuity. Does your book provide continuity regarding your brand? Does it make sense, in other words? Or are we going to look at your book and say, hey, Jean, are we going to look at your book and say, what the heck was that? I did that before. Can I be honest? So the first book I published was not the first book that I wrote. And I say that to encourage you. For those of you who think, I got to get this first idea that I had out first. Lies, hindrances, limitations, you do not. So I had written this book. And it was kind of a collection of things that I'd done, but whatever, I was playing, practicing. So I did another book, and it was a landmark book. It was an excellent book. It was a big, thick book. And then I said, oh, well, let me release the second book since this first book went well. And one of my friends pulled me to the side. You need good friends. Pulled me to the side and said, Rakisha, you know what? Your first book was amazing, but what happened? what happened on the second book? And I was like, oh my gosh, I probably should have never published it because I had grown from then. So let me release you right now for those of you who think, I need to go back to that old work. No, maybe you know more now than you did then. Release it as a rehearsal. Release it as, even when you think about films and when you think about pilots, everything doesn't get picked up. So I want you to release those things that maybe didn't get picked up, but it was great practice for you, but you are now more skilled and you now have more expertise now than then. Release it and release yourself and stop thinking that you were a failure. You just did a great rehearsal. You had a great rehearsal. You know, everything that you audition for, you don't always get, but it makes you better. I want you to start freeing yourself. That mindset and that mentality will allow you to be free as you decide to drop a project and pick something else up, because timing is everything. So some of you are stuck instead of hitting something that's going on now. I see a lot of people make money on t-shirt lines by taking a saying, not somebody's brand, you get sued, they'll give you a cease and desist, but they'll take a popular culture saying, throw it on a shirt, make their money in a short window of time and move on to the next thing. Are you paying attention? All right, let's go on. Publishing goal. So now that you've gotten a strategy, you need a publishing goal, okay? The first thing that I make people do that makes them nervous as heck, and I don't know why, is to write down a release date. So if you've already published, congratulations, you need to put out another book. If you haven't published, congratulations, you get to put out a book. So write down the release date and stop tripping. If you do not have a goal line, talking about the goal line, then you're going to keep moving that thing. And when is it going to get finished? Even babies have due dates. So what is the release date? And usually I will strategically put a release date with an event. So for instance, I have something I'm going to tell you about in a second, but I have an event coming up in January. You better believe I'm going to do a book release party at that event. It only makes sense. So if you know you have strategic things coming up, a big event that you're going to, you're vending, a birthday. I have done all kinds of strategies for book releases. I had a birthday, books or something, a book anniversary, a book celebration, a birthday bash, and it was great. People showed up, people purchased my books from afar, people purchased my books in person. You know, you can make an event out of anything, but you need to set that date. And set that date and then reverse engineer how you're going to get to that date. I follow Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone, I'm listening to him this morning as I'm walking, doing my miles, because, you know, I got to be able to have the energy to go east. He said that he wrote some of his bestsellers in 3 hours, 4 hours. What? All it takes is focus. He didn't stop to say, I need to go to English class. He admitted that it had typos. He had a team to fix that. But sometimes you need to shut yourself in. Recently, I was watching Power Confidential, right? And she said she locked herself in a room until she came out with the finale. What are you willing to do to get to the goal, you guys? Are we still, I'm trying to be nice, making excuses why we can't get it done when honestly we just did not focus? I went to college. I stayed up all night long. And I put out papers that one person or two people max may have read. What the heck? And nobody else read it again. So if you can do that for school, high school, whatever, essays, whatever, why can't you do it for the masses that are waiting for some answer that you have for them? Stop tripping. Before 2019 is over, you can have a whole book written for copyright 2020. Then what are your production goals? Do you want this book in paperback? Do you want this book in a hardback? What are your timelines for that? Okay, I've written this book and now I need it to go to print by X date, right? I need it. So I have my release date. Now I have some production goals. What company am I going to use? You need to know that. If you have Get Right University, then you get the answers. See what I'm saying? That was a plug. How am I going to get this produced? Here is my good news for you. When I started publishing, it was higher risk. It was higher risk as an entrepreneur. I had to buy, let's say, $500 worth of books, sell so many to break even before I made a profit. Now, with the advent of Kindle Direct Publishing via Amazon, I don't. So pretty much I make sure that my exterior and my interior are phenomenal, right? Then I upload it to this platform and production is taken care of. I can make royalties effective immediately. Paperback is what they offer. This is worth money right here. I'm telling you right now. Cha-ching, cash at me. You know, so I don't have to put up, so it might cost me because I'm in the business. So don't even, I'm in the business. It costs me less than $100 to publish a book, but I know what I'm doing, okay? So that's what I'm saying to you. There is no reason that you don't profit, but the midwife is going to check you. I am tired of seeing people lack excellence and putting out these shoddy books, calling them a book. No, it makes you look like an idiot. Oh, I said it out loud. It makes you look like you don't care about your brand. Yes, it is, Cassandra. KDP is awesome. It makes you look like it makes you an imposter. I can't even say makes you look like an imposter, because you're out here telling people about succeeding and excellence, but you didn't do due diligence on getting a decent book together. Like, who is doing this? Why? So yes, I did. So are we doing vanity projects, or are we the bona fide thing? All right. So think about that. And then in what formats? People always ask me this question. Well, should I just do an ebook? Who is your audience? So if you know what your demographic is, which I'll make you sit down and think about, if you know who your demographic is, I know that people who are buying books to read books are probably successful. They probably have some money. And I know that people who are doing ebooks, that might be a different generation. It doesn't mean that you're a millennial because you like ebooks. So I say, why wouldn't you do a physical book? Why would you cut out any avenue? Go paperback. Hardcover does cost a lot more. So strategically, you have to say, is your audience going to carry around a four-corner sharp, hardcover book? Or I started packaging them for portability. But anyway, I'm giving you strategy for free. Okay, and if they want to download it, fine. So definitely do the physical, definitely do the digital, and then think about audiobooks. Think about other formats that you can release that book so you can reach as many people as possible. Your goals, revenue goals. You need to make money, honey. Okay, so I do not necessarily believe that all of your revenue comes from royalties. And I will show you why in a minute. But what I'm saying is you should have some type of revenue goals for your book. Why is it, guys, that people think that you're going to put out a book and somebody else is going to tell everybody about it to put money in your pocket? We like to do stuff and then we don't want to invest in the expansion of that thing. So we'll say, I'll put out a book. I won't tell anybody about the book. I won't go live about the book. I won't go on tour about the book. I won't invest in a website about the book. I won't do a book club about the book. I won't buy a table about the book. I won't speak about the book, right? And then we expect, well, you know what? I didn't make any money, so I'm not going to do any more books. Where's your marketing plan? You don't have to get deep, but dang, how do you plan on marketing this book? What are your revenue goals? I have a specific goal, and one of my goals for 2020 is I want to make $1,000 a month in royalties. All right, that means that it's going to take some work. So either I'm going to have to run ads, I'm going to have to sell something, but I need a plan in place. So sales, you need to sell the book. How are you going to move the book? Right? So are you going to hire a team to do that? Or are you going to do that yourself? Do you have a manager, somebody in place? How are you going to sell the book? And I'm not giving you pressure. There's a different way actually that we can talk about this next, okay? And monthly royalties. Like I said, I want to clear at least $1,000 a month in royalties. The reason why I want to push you on that right now is because I can do a work one time, right? And the more books that I add via Kindle and the more books that I add via paperback, all of those are adding up for work I did once. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? For work that I did one time, and months and years and decades later, because I have books in there from like way back, I'm still making money off of the work that I did. Well, dang, okay? So it would be worth it for me to do that, because every single month I get a deposit into my bank account from Amazon, baby. So why wouldn't you do that? You work once, you get paid on and on and on, like Erykah Badu. All right, your message goal. So let's say you're like, I really ain't into that sales, but you can still use your book to make money. These are goals. Here's my message goals. I have monetary goals. Here's my message goals. Lead magnet. So there are certain books that I write. Just a second, I'm going to show you one of them that I don't necessarily write for royalties, but I do write them for revenue. All right, so I released 7 ways to get speaking engagements earlier this year. That's a lead magnet. It wasn't that I don't get royalties, because I do, right? But I use it as a lead magnet. So I took this book, uploaded it, cool, didn't have to put up any money. But when I went out to speak, I used texting, as many of you signed up. I said, text speaker to 33222, and you will get the digital download of this book. And so while I was speaking, people did it, and on their phone, they got the digital or PDF version of this book. I use it as a lead magnet to promote a speaker training program that brings me revenue that is greater than the cost of the retail value of that book. Do you see what I'm saying? So you are magnetizing leads to yourself that are worth more than the price on the back of that book. That's what I'm telling you. So when you're talking about having a loss leader, this also means that, okay, it costs me $2.32 per book, but I'm going to give it away as a loss leader. It costs me something to give away. I've done this. I have Book Publishing Master Plan. That was a lead magnet that I put out, cost me $2.15 production. I would go to events to speak on book publishing and give to my demographic, not everybody all the time, blink, blink, wink, wink. I would give to my demographic a copy of that book with a pen with a hook attached and my business card. I spent less than $100 and would get thousands of dollars worth of business from less than $100 investment. That is more than the books that I could sell of that title. Do you understand me? This is why when you understand what goals are out there, you can say, oh, so I don't have to bug everybody and say, buy my book. I can actually leverage the information in this book to land business. Somebody say cha-ching. And what is your media strategy? Have you ever been on the news? If not, make that a goal, okay? But do your books lead to radio interviews? Podcasting is hot. Are you going on social media with any type of interviews? Some of you have seen me there recently. What is your media strategy behind being an author? And heck, I mean, if nothing else, at least let it be said that you're an author and they can find your stuff on Amazon and you can make some passive money that way. But what is your strategy? So every single year I publish at least one book. Why? It keeps me fresh on the circuit as someone to be interviewed, as a speaker, as a trainer, because I am always coming up with fresh content, okay? So that is my goal, so that every time I go, there's some cities that want me all the time. So every time I go there, I have a new book or a new strategy, okay? I hope you don't mind spending some time with me today, because I really want to give this to you without rushing through the process. I just feel like I need to explain this. So what is your strategy? Do you want to be fresh on the circuit, or do you really want to say, oh, you know, you published a book 10 years ago. Well, okay, what's new? Okay, you ain't got nothing new, we don't want you. All right. Speaker goals, entrepreneur, author, speaker. You need goals. If you haven't set goals as a speaker and then you're wondering why you're not booked and you're not paid, well, there we go. Okay, that's the problem. You have no goals. Okay, cha-ching. Let's dig in. I have an answer. I have an answer. I want you to get over your self-consciousness about the way you sound. Nobody's thinking that it's crazy but you. And there's some people out there with voices that may not be as great on the ears, but they're out there. There's a particular individual, I won't say her name. She's on Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out. And they always make fun of her voice. But she's on TV every week making money. What are you tripping about? You have an answer. I don't care what you think about your voice. You have an answer. So can you get over that? The first time I heard myself record, I was like, who is that? You've been through it too. Get over it. Yes, that's how you sound, and ain't nobody thinking crazy about it but you. All right, the frequency. Let's put some number goals down. 2020. How many speaking engagements do you want? Do you really want to be gone 52 weeks out of the year? Do you? Or can you say, you know what? There's 12 months out of the year. I want to do at least 12 speaking engagements. You can do more than that. But how many of them do you want? Have you written it down? And you know, when you write stuff down, it's more likely to come to pass. Write it down. Then write down, how much do you want to make? Now, here's a question I'm going to park at for a while, because people always ask me this. How much should I charge to speak? How much do you want to make? What you make is not always predicated on what they pay. Let me say it again. What you make is not always predicated on what they pay. You need to look at the potential for profit. Come on, guys. I'm giving you notable quotables. You need to look at the potential for profit. So if I go to this event, what are they providing? Now, I don't want to go somewhere and you have no audience and the people who are in the room don't have any money, then you're wasting my time. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes I will speak at no cost to the event host if I know that I can generate 5 figures of revenue from the stage. Somebody clap with me. It's bigger than what they could have paid me to come. Now, there are paid speaking opportunities out there. But what I'm telling you is, if you can see a way, now if you go east with me, then there's no reason why you don't make money. But you know why you're not gonna make any money as a speaker? You don't have a product line. You don't have a business. You just trying to talk. Okay. All right. You have no training program. Okay. So how are you supposed to make any money as a speaker? Somebody raise your hands if you're short, right? So how much do you want to make? I have goals for 2020. There is a particular tour that I want to do, and I want to make an average of $5,000 per stop. There is a strategy in place for that. If I don't have a strategy in place, then I might be minus $500. You see what I'm saying? Where, raise your hand, you have paid for your own hotel room. You have paid for your flight. Yes, raise those hands. You didn't recoup nothing. So you went home minus, okay? Minus some money for the privilege of speaking and wasn't nobody even there. I'm just saying. So we have to be more strategic. So what are your numbers? Set them, and then you can come up with strategies to get them, okay? I know, I've done it too, and then I've started to tell people, no, thank you. Virtual speaking. This is another area I'm gonna step on your toes. We're gonna work. We came to work. We came to work. I'm gonna step on your toes now. All of you guys talking about you wanna go east, and all of you guys talking about you wanna be a speaker, but you won't book your dang self. Book yourself. What are your video goals? Everybody out there rocking it puts out content visually. Why? Because video is the #1 consumed thing on the platforms. It's the truth. Why are you running from the truth? Get over yourself, okay? You don't have to be the most beautiful or the most handsome person to show your mug on a video. And thankfully now, women, we have so much makeup, we can paint a whole new face. So you need some video goals. How many videos are you going to do per month, per week, per day? If you look at Gary Vee, my God, he doesn't stop, but he's also a multimillionaire. Do the doggone math. So these people out there making millions of dollars putting out videos, you don't make, 100, and you won't put out any. Can we work that out? So on social media, what are your video goals? Every time I go live, I make money. It means that I'm getting out in front of people and they remember, oh, by the way, yes, I need to do that. Oh yeah, she does have a book on that. Oh my gosh, I've been meaning to ask her to speak at my event. It puts you in front of people. Now, don't get out there not understanding your business and not understanding your strategy, and you're all over the place. So you didn't go east. There's no cohesiveness to what you're doing, and we're wondering why you're showing up on video wasting our time. So as you come with a strategy, you don't always have to be selling people something. You can give them stuff. I go and I give tips for no cost, right? And it solidifies and it establishes and it certifies my expertise. So social media right now is free. I don't care what they say about reach. People are still watching these videos, all right? And maybe if not enough people are watching your videos, it is because you're not meeting enough people. How many friends do you have on Facebook? If you have less than 1,000, that means that you're being, antisocial. Go east. You're being antisocial. You're not being very friendly. You're not engaging people. You're not supporting people. It's the truth. Ow, right? It's true. You're just not. If your friend list haven't grown, I have to every single month do a purge because I keep hitting 5,000 people. That's what they allow us. Now, I can't say my Instagram is popping, but at least I have over 1,000. But I'm saying is that you have to have some type of reach. I do well on Facebook and I'm all right on Instagram. But depending on where your people are, there it is. Virtual events. You can do virtual events. This is a virtual event right now. I'm speaking right now. Some of you may say, oh my gosh, she's phenomenal. I need her at my event. Boom. Okay. So you need to book yourself. Are you doing any webinars? Are you doing any partnerships with people and say, hey, People don't have to necessarily, it's good to get together now because I do go to physical events, but sometimes people need information and they just need you to get in front of them so that they can see what you have to offer. So you can do a virtual event in coordination with other people that you know and rock it, but speak. This is how you get better. If you do not practice, you cannot get better, okay? And also pre-recorded content. Some of you may feel like you're not very good in a high pressure live setting, okay? So then schedule some pre-recorded content. What can you do that's entertaining to pre-record it and then to get that message out? You know, do you even have lists of people that you can send things to? Here's another issue for those of you who want to go east. And I keep asking you this every year. Well, do you have an email list? No. Well, do you have a texting list? No. Well, dang. You know, you ain't trying to reach anybody. And then you come talking about you don't have any money. Well, I'm not surprised. IGTV, thank you. IGTV is good too. So use the platforms that you have available. And at first you might not get traction, but you keep on going and you'll build if your stuff actually is resonating with people. So you can use pre-recorded content on your websites, on your social media pages, in your communication. Book yourself, okay? When we're talking about actual speaker bookings, what are your platform goals? I literally have numbers for, I want to speak in front of 5,000 people. I want to speak in an arena of 10,000 people. That might be a longer term goal, but if you don't have that as a goal, you will not prepare. You won't prepare. So you won't invest in your wardrobe, or you will not invest in your speaker training and coaching. You will not invest in conferences that will teach you how to do it because you want to stay small. Well, it's a numbers game, you guys. And the more people you get out in front of when you do percentages, the more money you're going to make. If you keep on being in rooms where there are only 10 people, it's harder. Even if all 10 people buy, it's still harder, and you cannot crack the 6-figure mark, and you cannot crack the 7-figure mark because it's a numbers game. So do you want to speak at conventions? Write that down. Say, I want to do a convention next year, right? So if you're going to pitch yourself as a speaker, then you're going to need a speaker sheet, or you might need a reel, or you might need to make an investment in your career as a speaker. Do you want to do expos? They're always looking for speakers, okay? Conferences, meetings, panels. I've gotten so many speaking engagements from being an MC. I grab that microphone and I work it, and people come to me and they're like, we need to book you for our event. So when you have an opportunity, make a difference in the room. You don't always have to be a keynote to be significant if you're still early in your speaking career. So kind of write these down. You know what, I would like to MC, then find out, is there an opportunity for you to MC that there's not one yet? And you to say, you know what, I would really, really like to serve as the MC for this meeting, especially if there's a couple of hundreds of people in the room, or heck, even 100. You can do that, but learn how to do it so that you can really, really keep the room on their toes. All right, if you are a speaker, you need to host at least one event a year. Why? Because you need to build a tribe around your messaging. My messaging right now is go east. So I'm building a tribe of people. When they see me, they're going to say, go east. When we go live, they're going to say, go east. When I see my mastery students rocking it, I go and I say, go east. It is a tribe, okay? So you need to have a tribe. Please have a good personality though. Yes. And if you're speaking, you should have a good personality. Work on it. Okay, so here are your goals as a tribe. Number one, you create a culture. You create a culture. I love Russell Brunson with ClickFunnels because they have a culture, and those people are dedicated to their culture, baby. And they build that. He emails every day. They're putting out videos all the time. Their Facebook groups are active every single day. Grant Cardone does it with 10X. He's created a culture. John Maxwell does it, created a culture. Oprah Winfrey does it, created a culture, okay? You can start small, but create a culture around your belief system and what you're doing, all right? Then brand awareness. When you host things, you make people aware of your brand. Okay, so if you never host anything, how are people going to see that you're a sponsor or someone of significance? Hosting puts your stuff front and center. Someone asked the question and they said, how do I plan to speak at expos? There are calls for speakers that happen all the time, a call for speakers. So either you can answer the call or you can pitch yourself, okay? We're talking about the professional realm. You can actually contact them. You might get denied. but don't be discouraged. This is a numbers game. You can actually contact them, but if you're going to contact them, you best be prepared. I saw this today. Have a video of you speaking. This is why you need to host your events, because you can get video footage, okay? Have a video of you speaking, develop your signature talks, and have a speaker sheet. And then they want to look at your social media. Why do you think I'm telling you to speak? Because if you go look at my social media, it's proof that I speak. You see what I'm saying? So build that up, but don't be discouraged if it's not perfect. But pitch and answer call for speakers. Okay, brand awareness. It tells people, hey, you know, this person has a brand. And if you are doing any type of step and repeat or pop-ups or banners or fabric walls or signage or anything, and we take photos, we're aware of your brand, and you're telling the story of your brand, and you're building this tribe around your brand. And then success stories always make a difference. So I have a cohort right now in East. You will be hearing from them talking about their success stories because it works. The East formula works. So as people come to your events, you don't even have to have a mastery program. You don't have to have a mastermind. But as they come to your events, when they're in the session, capture those testimonials via video or written format. Allow them to do that. You can place written testimonials on your website with a photo or just a name and a location. You can place video testimonials everywhere. Get success stories. Those are people validating, someone said that, validating your brand, and then you can use that to market the next thing that you're doing. See what I'm saying? Trainer goals. We're coming around the mountain. T is for trainer. You need a training system. It doesn't have to be courses. I'm going to break it down for you. But you need a training system, because after you're an entrepreneur, we have your business, you're an author, you have your book, you can sell that, you're a speaker, I have a message, I'm getting that out. From the stage, where can I take you? My business mentor told me, every time you show up, have an offer ready to go. Do not show up and then go, you need to give them something if you're allowed to do it. In most cases you are, okay? But verify that. But you need to have something available to continue the relationship and to continue the conversation, and Trainer allows you to do this. Let me show you. Do this through programs. So you have instructional goals, okay? Are you going to train people? You don't have to do all of these. Do what you can do well. Through courses. These courses do not have to be a year long, and actually I will not do any 12-month-long courses anymore. It's too long. We live in a time where things move quickly, okay? So are there courses? What is going to be the length of that course? Sometimes they can be too long. Sometimes they need to be mini courses, okay? But courses, you can do that. Memberships, you can offer and say, hey, for a monthly membership fee, we'll present you with this instructional information, and we'll give you something new every month, every week, every day, however you're setting that membership up in perpetuity. So when I've done memberships, I can either do an annual fee or I can do a monthly fee, and usually I give discounts for annual, okay? They work. Can you do mentorship programs? You should do this only if you have mastery over an area, where you take people and say, I'm going to literally walk you through a process until you replicate or until you produce what I'm teaching you in that process. So mentorships, or masterminds as we're calling them now, are very popular, but they are to lead to results, okay? So you can offer these as instructional goals. Gatherings. You have event goals, and I talked to you about how events work, but you have event goals to gather people. So I don't have to do them all, but am I going to do a conference? Am I going to do a workshop? Am I going to do it multi-day? Am I going to do it one day? Am I going to do it half a day? Try them all. See what works, repeat, what doesn't, release, okay? Are you going to do masterminds? I've done this. I have done masterminds in Maui. Last year I went to Maui, did a mastermind. It was great. We all went into a secluded place and we worked that thing out. Masterminds, we really sat down. They heard us speak and we really sat down and we answered their questions and we worked on their particular issues during that mastermind. If you're going to do a mastermind, have some people who can master some stuff and give some answers in there, okay? And then retreats. I did a retreat in Aruba last year and will continue to do them, okay? So are you doing a retreat where you go to a place with people, get them out of their normal area of function, escaping all of that chaos that they may be used to, and getting them to focus on a goal of the retreat? I'm going to be refreshed, and I'm also going to be replenished, and I'm going to be informed, all right? So you can have event goals for training purposes that work. However, if you do not have a big audience for this, you might not want to do them all. Okay? Entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer. I told you that I was going to share a special announcement with you. And drum roll, please. And then we're going to do Q&A. Go East Live. Yes, I am hosting an event in January. Pre-registration is now open. You need to go register because these rates expire on Monday. But you can do VIP bonus day and Go East Live and the East Gala. I am doing an intensive, hands-on, amazing event right here in Dallas, Texas at East Global Headquarters. Whoop, whoop, you need to come. You don't need to make an excuse. You don't need to say what you will not do. One of the things that you have seen me do is I go to events and I invest in events, and I go and I meet people for strategic purposes, and guess what happens? I get media bookings, I get speaking bookings, I get referrals, and I get clients. Yes, I track, you've seen me, verifiable. It validates what I do. I go out beyond my comfort zone and I meet people and I pay good money and my rates are good. Let me show you why, okay? All right, there's limited seating because I am having it at my headquarters, but it's still gonna be amazing, okay? VIP right now is $197. As of the 19th is $247, you better get in here. General is $97, it'll be $147 on 11/19. Do not tell me you do not have any money. Please do not say that. Please, that means that you're not the E. If I want this money and I want to go somewhere, honey, let me tell you something. How many things does it take you to sell to get there? Paying right now. I know that's right. I will see you in January. Grab your seat. All it takes is for you to come up with a strategy. I've told you this before. When I want to do something, I do not look at my bank account. I look into the treasury. I look and I say, I want this. So what is it that I can offer that will get me to that goal? That is an entrepreneur. I'm a problem solver. I am a risk taker. Do not be scared. And if you don't have enough money, you definitely need to be at Go East Live because East is the formula that's going to help you win. So go ahead and get your registration done. But wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. I have something else to tell you. East Mastery. I have an elite mastermind that is active this year. And you're going to meet many of them at Go East Live in January, and you are going to see the tremendous success stories that they have going through my program with the East Formula. I have 12 seats available for the January start date. Let me tell you what it includes, right? And I want you to pay attention because I want you to do this when you do your sessions. You should have an offer to make. So I'm being transparent. I want you to do this. This is how you go East. It is a 24-week intensive focus. You have 12 scheduled 60-minute sessions with me, okay? So I go hard. Every 6 weeks, I am literally drilling the East Formula into you and making sure that you are set up to follow that structure. I ask you questions about your business. I'm going to ask you about your book, give you Get Right University to make sure that you can do that. We're going to make sure that you have your speaker sheet and all of that together. We're going to make sure that you have a training offer so that when you come to present at my events, you can make money. That's what this is about. Every month we do an executive mastermind, and that is always encouraging. If I have any East people on here, you can verify that. You'll get book coaching. Now, this is not publishing, but you get coaching. I have the resources for you to publish with excellence, okay? But you will get training. That means that I will make sure that the quality control on your book is on point. I will advise you on your title. I will advise you on your cover. I will advise you on your interior, and it will be excellent, okay? You get ABCs of authorship, 7 ways to get speaking engagements, the Gold Mine Journal, and the Money Magnet because we use them all. Now, here are the bonuses, and then you can ask me questions. I know some of you are already on there, making sure that you are saving your seat because I'm not doing this for everybody, just the serious. Here's the bonuses, and the value is at over $1,900. You are going to go to the Go East Live is included. Get Right University is included. Get Right Weekend in March is included. The East Retreat 2020, which is going to be on an island, is included. The registration, okay? I ain't paying for your hotel and your flight, but your access pass is included. You get a welcome package with some swag, some East swag, okay? And then, of course, you'll get all your books and all of that included in that. So where do you go to find this? I'll tell you. This is the goal. You are not expected to take the money from your salary or from your business to pay for this. So one of the ways that this program is successful is I give you, so remember that thing that I told you about the money magnet and the daily? I give you a weekly goal over and above what you're already making of only $156.25 for 24 weeks. That pays for your program, but you have to hit that mark. That means that you have built the muscle to get what you want, saying, hey, $156.25, I can do that. For some of you, that's just one consultation. Why aren't your consultations $150? You can't book one consultation a week at $150. It costs money to sit in my chair, and I get the money all the time. I'll show you how to do that. That's it. And you've gone east, and you're fine. So go east. TheEastFormula.com. If you go to TheEastFormula.com, you can register for Go East Live, or you can save your spot for the mastery program. If you pay in full, you'll save $750. If you do a payment plan, you just have to put in your deposit, save your seat now, and then we'll start your payments in January. Set your goals. Even if you can't do all of this, if you enact what I told you, you should be able to afford to do anything that you want to do. So at this time, I want to open it up. I did good on that time. I want to open it up. If you have questions, chat them to me. If you want to ask a question live, definitely let me know. But what is that website? One more time. What is that website? TheEastFormula.com. Okay? Questions. Do you have questions? Did this help you? Did this make you mad? Did this challenge you? Are you going to go east with me? And as I always do, since you have attended this session, if you felt like this was wonderful, if you felt like this helped, please go to my Facebook page, Rekesha Pittman, R-E-K-E-S-H-A, Pittman with 2 T's, and leave me a review. Leave me a review. If this thing was what you needed, or if I answered something for you, go to my page and pay me that way, okay? Yes? Oh, great question. Someone said, I'm an author, but how do I get past not being a people person? That is an excellent question. So you really, really have to think about, who do I want to reach, right? I am an ambivert. You might think that I'm an extrovert. I'm an ambivert. I have had some experiences in my life that make me not want to deal with people, but guess what? That makes me broke. So if you like money, someone said, what is my Cash App? It's $ Rekesha Pittman, $ R-E-K-E-S-H-A, Pittman with 2 T's. I love it. Cha-ching. Okay. So I had to actually read books called, one of them was How to Win Friends and Influence People, because there was something about the way that I was raised that caused me to feel like I needed to defend myself and to be a security guard for myself all the time. So I had this disposition that would push people away. And what I noticed is people thought that I was talented, but they kind of felt intimidated by me, or they didn't want to deal with me because of my demeanor. So I had to say, people kept saying, I thought you were mean, or I thought you didn't like me, and they weren't hating. They were telling me the truth. So if people keep telling you something, it's probably true. So I had to look within myself, and I said, you know what, this isn't working for you. And I had to learn how to actively go and give what I needed. I know we didn't mean to have a counseling session, but you're going to get it. Yes, $ Rekesha Pittman. That's it. Thank you, Jean. $ Rekesha Pittman. Actively. I had to be the catalyst for what I wanted. So in other words, I had to give what I needed. So I started going and speaking to people. I didn't do that before. If you look, where I came from, we don't speak. I'm gonna ignore you and you're gonna ignore me. That doesn't work for business. That doesn't work for influence. That doesn't work for impact. That doesn't make you likable. So I had to go to people and say, hello, hi, how are you? How are you doing? I had to start changing some of my behavior in order to receive that back, and it has worked. I had to actively start smiling. My face was always serious, and I had to actively start smiling so that people felt like they could approach me, right? And lastly, I will say this as well, so you can reach people. What I'm telling you is, it's time to change. It's a new decade. Remember, we talked about holes in pockets. If you saw me yesterday on Facebook, holes in pockets. Well, sometimes it's time to change that. I had to change for the better. It wasn't changing who I was to please people. It was changing who I was to be the type of people that we need in this world. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So sometimes it's just time for you to grow, and it's time for you to expand, and it is time for you to stop letting the environment that you came out of impact your future. You're going to have to change, and you're going to have to grow, and it's okay. You can be better. We can do the better remodel of you. I had to do it, and I'm very transparent about what I've gone through. So I've learned how to communicate better. I've learned how not to argue so much. I know that's stepping on somebody's toes, but it is what it is, okay? So be encouraged and do, as Iyanla says, do the work, okay? Are there any other questions that you have for me? Was this helpful? I hope so. Yes? I'm looking at the chat. I don't see you telling me. How do you know if it's ever dealing with people in your personal space? I told y'all, you're gonna have to do the work, baby. Okay? You're gonna have to do the work. I have issues with being in tight spaces because I grew up in a situation where there was 7 of us, sometimes in a 1-room and a 2-bedroom, and that was pretty much the extent of it. And I always felt crowded out. So, you know, sometimes I have space issues where I need like 3,000 feet by myself. But I realize that I also need to be interactive with people. So if you know that you're struggling in an area that is making you not excel in business, I want you to deal with that. I need you to deal with that. I need you to start reading some books that are going to help self-help for you. This is all of you guys, okay? Whatever you feel that your weakness is, and it's something that you can actually do something about, I want you to go do the work. I stopped reading fiction books and I started reading books that will make my life better. This is why reading helps. I didn't learn that. I had to go out and I had to implant that because that is not how I grew up, you guys. So can we stop letting our past dictate our future? See, somebody said totally helpful. If you're a pushover, but you need to read Boundaries by Dr. Cloud, okay? If you don't have good boundaries, go get you some. Learn how to set them. Some of this stuff we cannot figure out. That's why we have experts, okay? And all of this will impact your business. Your mentality will impact your money, period. All right? Are we good? Y'all still with me? I'm going, what else do I need to say? Like, you know, we got some people on here today. Change my thinking. Absolutely. Good information. Absolutely. What are you going to do about it? Go east with me. That's what you need to do. I want to meet you in person. I want to train you in person. I want to experience an amazing time with you in person. And where do you go to do that? TheEastFormula.com. Because after Monday, baby, it's going up. Okay? Y'all, she said, thank you. This is a wonderful blessing. Great info. That's what I want. When I show up, I want to make sure that it's on point. And it's the same thing. I've bombed, you guys. Sometimes I picked the wrong message for the wrong audience and I felt like an idiot. But instead of me going away and saying, I'm not cut out for this, I said, you know what? I should have done my due diligence and I should have asked better questions. Let me encourage you. You won't be perfect. Forgive yourself and learn from it. And stop being self-sabotaging. I might, but I might have a virtual part, but at this point, I'm just making sure that I fill the room, okay? I need to establish boundaries. I help everyone else before myself. What did I say? Oh, I will explain the sponsorship part. What did I say? If you run into a burning building and you try to take 3 people out at the same time, all you're gonna fall down and burn it. So you really, really have to be strategic about who you help, and everybody is not looking for help. Some people are just looking for an opportunity, okay? So I have 3 sponsorship opportunities available. If you are a sponsor, you can also speak and pitch what you do, okay? I will give you the opportunity to present your business at Go East Live and announce some things. So you will be visible, and I will also put your, I will make sure that we have a banner there, your logo, so that you are visible as a brand at Go East Live. Talk about it, acknowledge you as a sponsor as we continue to push it, okay? 3, only 3 spots available for that. This was good, you think so? Yeah? Any other questions? I love this, you all, and most of all, this is, money gives you freedom, okay? It is not that you are money hungry. It is not that you're greedy. It is not that you are mercenary. When you put the East formula together, there is absolutely no reason that you do not have a cyclical cash flow. If you are an entrepreneur, author, speaker, there's no reason. Your books are going to continue to make money for you every month, right? Go to theeastformula.com and there's the sponsorship fee is right there. Go to theeastformula.com events. So go to theeastformula.com and click events, and the registration form is right there. Scroll down, bam, you can be a sponsor. Okay, a wealth of info. Wow. Oh, absolutely. So if you're an entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer, and you do this, and you go and you speak at events, and your business is running, and you have books, and you're giving that message out, and you have training programs, what the heck is the problem? That's because you didn't know that you needed to go east. That's where we're heading in 2020 and beyond. You can do it right now. You do not have to wait until the new year. You can go east and decide the East formula works because it works for all these multimillionaires, must work for me too. Okay? If there is nothing else, I see you chatting me. No, so if you do the sponsorship, it includes your registration. Good question. So the sponsorship includes your registration, your access to everything both days. Okay? Thank you. Thank you all for the compliments and the encouragement. I like to give you things that you would pay money for. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. VIP includes 2 days. So there's a bonus day. Thank you for the questions. There's a bonus day for VIPs only on that Friday where I will spend with you and we will go deep diving into your stuff, your business. On Saturday, it's more general, but it's still great. And then there's a gala on Saturday evening, okay? So it includes VIP. If you're a sponsor, it includes VIP. And it includes that second day as well as your opportunity to pitch and speak in front of the people and have your branding there, all right? Excellent. I want to make sure that I'm a resource for you. If I can do it, you're welcome. You're welcome. Theeastformula.com. The East Formula, theeastformula.com. And don't forget, you can always hit me up on social media. If there are any questions beyond this, I will give you the exact link, okay? Right, VIP day is in a group and not one-on-one, but I limited it to 12. So you will get me up close and personal. It is not going to be a big old room full of people. We're going to sit down in an intimate setting and work on your stuff. So it's a group, but it's a small group. The second day will be a larger group. Okay, thank you. Theeastformula.com. This was great training. Yes, I value your time. I'm not the one that's going to come on here and keep telling you, hey, something is coming, and I didn't give you something that you can act on. If you never see me again, and you take this formula, you can work it, okay? But if you see me, I'll hold you accountable, and I'll make sure that you have a platform to go east, all right? All right, you guys. I think we're done. We did well, okay? Go east with me, theeastformula.com. Delshana, let me know. If you want to speak, let me know. Okay? Since I see that you raised your hand. Let me know before we go. We still got people here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. January 17th and 18th, you can do it. January 17th and 18th. And let me tell you something about that. This year, I went to an event on 4th of July weekend because that is how important it was for me to be in the right room. I saw you there, you know, there's somebody on here that's a witness. It's important to be in the room. That is our freedom weekend. So I chose MLK weekend for you to be free. We'll be done Saturday. You can go back Sunday and be good for Monday if you have that day off, okay? But I want you to be free. So we're going to do it on Freedom Weekend, Martin Luther King weekend, right here in Dallas, Texas. Yes, you can get here and you can get it done. All right, you guys, theeastformula.com. I have 2 things. You can do East Mastery or you can go East Live with me and I'll help you go East. Again, if this was helpful to you, go to my Facebook page and drop your sister a positive review. I thank you so, so much. I will send you info on how to access this replay. And in the meantime, go East. I will see you moving in the right direction. Thank you so, so much. And until next time, go East with me. Bye, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you.